Hello there, all Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Welcome back to Radiant Moon Tarot. My name is Victoria, and we've got your October 2025 money and career reading coming out here for you guys. So let's get right into it. October 13th, Pluto is going to now be direct in the sign of Aquarius. Pluto went retrograde May 4th. And now here we are back with some forward momentum. So typically when Pluto goes back direct after being in a time of retrograde, we think about some changes that have already been happening. We think about making some changes. Now we're ready to take some action. We're ready to move forward. Also, after a time of introspection, you may have discovered what patterns, habits, behaviors, people, and situations have some sort of power or control over you. Even bad habits can, have control over us. So this is where we look to take our power back, take back a little bit of control and make things better in our lives. It's like, okay, now I know what I need to do. Let's do it. Pluto and Aquarius can be certainly very futuristic, but we do need to embrace a little bit of change. Some of you could have something that has been hidden that can come to light as well. Pluto does rule Scorpio energy and the 8th house energy, which does have to do with other people, other people's money, taxes, inheritances, and all of those things. So some of you could have some changing dynamic there with some money and possessions that you share with other people. Think of significant others, spouses. Some of you can have some personal life things that are shifting, and this affects your money. It affects your investments. It affects your future. And so what we need to do is kind of really take a little bit of charge with those things so that they don't get out of hand. So really taking your mojo back with that. But the same day that Pluto is direct in Aquarius on the 13th, Venus enters the sign of Libra. Wonderful time to connect with people. Work with beneficial people in your workplace. Find new business partnerships. Right? Venus in Libra does encourage us to connect with people that can enhance our lives, or that we feel really connected or committed or devoted to. So some of you, you could find a new business partner, you could find a new job, you could find a new department. Some of you may not necessarily be doing anything on your own. You could have people coming into your lives. So there could be some changing dynamics in your workplace, and you could just get maybe a little bit lucky. It's like, oh, I'm so glad this person joined our team. They are a wonderful addition. So we can get a lot of benefits there to attract partnerships. Venus in Libra can also represent, Venus is our planet of love and money and resources and creativity and new beginnings and all this wonderful stuff, abundance as well. And Libra energy is about partnerships, also balance, fairness, equality, justice, and legalities. So some of you could be dealing with some contracts. Perhaps you've got some legal situation that may wrap up here for you after a period of stagnation. Now we're ready to move forward. So this can be really wonderful. We do have a new moon in the sign of Libra on the 21st. So this can be a great time to set some intentions. We've got a little bit of magical influence here as well, because of course this time of year the veil is thin, our intuition is heightened, and so we really have a really good sixth sense about what is going on, or about the timing of things. So we can really use some of this energy to harness new beginnings, a fresh start, or just a way to make things a little bit better, and hopefully harvest some abundance and prosperity that is due to us, because it is harvest season. We have trust here. Now, interestingly enough, this card has come out for a few different people already, a few different signs. And so the trust energy here, are you surrounded with people you trust? Do you trust other people with your money? Do you trust yourself? So trust is an element that we need to examine and embrace. So number one, with this card, it is really quite positive. It's a little bit similar to the Fool card. Trust yourself to move forward. Trust yourself to make the right choices. Trust yourself to make the right decisions for the betterment of your future. And especially, of course, your financial future or your career future. Are you in situations where you don't trust the people that are around you? right? That's a problem. So that's something that we need to perhaps address. And Pluto going direct, because Pluto is in the darkness, brings something to the light, right? You could discover something there. Trust is a fickle little thing. Takes a long time to build trust and just a split second sometimes to eradicate it. So, look for things that have been hidden or things that haven't been quite out in the open. If there are any, maybe you've got something that you've been hiding. It can be hidden desires. It's like, I'm not happy in my job. I really want to make some change. What does that look like to me, right? It's a scary, daunting thing sometimes to leave a little bit of safety and security behind. There could be a situation where there is something that you don't quite see. You could have some hidden bills that might come to light, unfortunately, right? That kind of thing can happen, with this particular energy. Or maybe you've got a partner that might have some sort of shopping habits that are hidden from you, or perhaps some credit card debt that hasn't been addressed, things like that. So sometimes things can come out of the woodwork. But ultimately, trust energy. Make sure that you trust yourself and trust the people that are handling your money at the same time, right? Maybe you've got an investment advisor and it's like, do you trust this person and what they say, or are they just trying to sell you stuff just to make a commission, right? So really focus on that element of trust. And we've got beauty here as well. Now, some of you here, you have some talents, you have some gifts, you have some creative things that can really make the world a better place, a more beautiful place. So maybe you create some art, maybe you're really good in the kitchen, that kind of thing. So embodying the element of beauty in some way, right, can maybe help you make a little bit of money. Beauty can also represent that this can be a beautiful time for you to blossom and to prosper. All right. And again, we've got Venus entering Libra on the 13th, and Venus is our planet of love and money, but also the things that are beautiful, things we find beautiful, and the things that beautify our lives at the same time. So with this energy, some of you could perhaps be looking at redecorating your home, buying some new furniture, painting the walls, maybe just rearranging some things there, just to get the energy shifting and the energy flowing. And some of you might be spending a little bit of money on yourself for a little bit of self-love and self-care. But remember the beauty in all things. So there could be some beautiful things happening for you in regards to your career path, your career growth, and your money prospects there as well. The main energy coming in for you, we do have the Five of Wands. Now, the Five of Wands can be a little bit of a challenging energy. It can bring in some drama. It can bring in some, a lot of action, a lot of activity. It can bring in a little bit of conflict, but ultimately it can be about taking action and competition. So if you're looking to better your situation, you may need to, put yourself out there and compete for something that you want. Five of Wands often does show up for me when I'm doing a reading where someone needs to put their resume out there and they need to throw their hat in the ring for a promotion in the workplace, right? We've got to, other people want the same thing that you do, right? But you're probably not going to facilitate change or get what you want unless you do put yourself out there and take a little bit of a risk. Even though you might not necessarily, quit your job, but if you put a resume out there, yes, you are opening yourself up to a little bit of risk, right? Yes, I might get what I'm hoping for, but also I could, get some rejection, right? And so it's like a little bit challenging sometimes, especially if you don't really nobody likes to hear the word no, let's face it, but you would never know unless you try. The Five of Wands can also represent people you work with, because it's quite often a bunch of very strong personalities that are all trying to get noticed or get their voices heard, hence some drama, right? A lot of A-type personalities all, vying for that attention, or vying for some accolades and things. So, so again, you can have a little bit of tension, a little bit of infighting perhaps in your workplace, but remember, you have the power to change. You have the power to avoid getting embroiled in any kind of, drama situations kind of thing. And let's face it, Five of Wands with money, there could also be some issues at home, especially if you do share money or resources or household budget with other people, right? There could be some challenges there with that Five of Wands. Everyone wants something, and not everyone can necessarily have everything. Coming with that, we've got the Wealthy Man and we've got the Anchor. So you've got some goals, you've got some dreams. The Anchor represents your ability to achieve your goals and your dreams. And with that Wealthy Man, this can be your energy, really kind of believing that you can achieve whatever it is that you want to, that you can put yourself out there and that you can find that safe harbor, you can find that opportunity that can bring you, wealth and riches and fortune and all that kind of stuff, and make you feel like you're safe and secure. The Wealthy Man can also be a driven person in your life here as well, hence the Five of Wands. So perhaps someone in your workplace that that they don't really care about anyone else's feelings. They just have their own wants and needs in mind, right? They can be a little bit spoiled. They can be a little bit driven, right? And it's like their singular focus is their goal, right? And so sometimes that's where that drama can come in, because they do tend to step on people's toes, or they do tend to brown nose a little bit. We all love those kind of people in the workplace for sure. So they just have that singular focus and they're oblivious perhaps to everyone else. Okay. But overwhelmingly, the Wealthy Man with the Anchor there can certainly be a really positive energy. I mean, the Anchor is what we strive for. It's our goals, and it's showing up in your reading. So some of you can be achieving some goals here, or you've got something in mind. And when you embrace this mindset that I can, right? I can do this, I can change this, I can fix this, I can make this better, I can achieve what I set out to achieve. It's this positive mindset that keeps the forward momentum going in a really positive way. With the Anchor, we do sometimes lift anchor, right? So if you've been anchored in place for a time, there could be a little bit of stirring within you that it's ready for a change. So you might be ready to lift anchor there and sail to another situation, another destination. Sometimes, we do, just like a ship in safe harbor, right? We do, anchor down and we don't move. We just want to stay there in our comfort zone. So are you happy and, prospering in your comfort zone there? Or is it ready to move forward and do something a little bit different? The blessings headed your way. We've got the Nine of Swords. Now, Nine of Swords is not a blessing typically, right? It can be a very challenging card because we're up in our head. We're worried about things. We're anxious. We're having some sleepless nights. We're tossing and turning. We're overthinking, overanalyzing, right? We need to get out of our head and into our heart with that Nine of Swords, something that we build up in our mind to be really challenging, or we think the worst, often in the light of day. It's a little bit easier to deal with when we face things head on. So that Nine of Swords being in your blessings energy shows a sigh of relief. Whether you finally take some action to make things better, whether you finally recognize what habits have been detrimental to your bank account. And let's face it, Saggy, I mean, you are a sign that seeks freedom, expansion, growth, fun, adventure, all these wonderful things, right? But sometimes you might have those bad habits that come along with that, right? We're not worried about money. We just trust, there you go, that, more money will keep flowing back to us. You're the luckiest sign of the Zodiac, right? You're ruled by Jupiter. And I myself am my Sagittarius rising, right? So, even though I do have a very practical side with money, I also have a little bit kind of like a Leo kind of energy, right? Where it's like, well, I just want this thing. I want this shiny thing. I don't really want to wait for this. I want this right now, right? But I want my freedom at the same time. So, sometimes if you have got yourself in a little bit of a financial pickle, right? Sometimes we just kind of bang our head against the wall a little bit and go, oh man, well, I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm gonna have to watch my pennies until payday, but that's okay. I've got more money coming in, right? So sometimes that mindset can get us in trouble, but can also have us in this energy here with the wealthy man, and just believing that, you know, money keeps flowing back to us. And it's a beautiful way to be, because money is circulatory, money is energy, and we have to allow money to flow. There is enough to go around for everybody, regardless of what's been deeply ingrained in our brains. All right. If you have the wealthy, abundant mindset, you will attract that to you. So we're putting our fears and worries and doubts and our own blocks and restrictions aside, and we're being more open and more trusting, and we're believing in ourselves again, or we're even facing our fears with that. So it's all a blessing for you in that regard. With that, we've got the bear and we've got the mouse. So for some of you, money may have been a little bit scarce, right? The mice do whittle away at your bank account. They whittle away at your savings. They whittle away at your money, right? Or your prospects. The bear is big money, big finance. And so some of you maybe have been feeling the need to protect your money so that it doesn't go away and so that you can save for your future, right? And so for some of you here, there could be a little bit of worry that your money's not growing fast enough, or that, you know, you may be having a little bit more going out than you have coming in at this moment. But the bear here can represent success, can represent that big money energy, right? So are you believing in big money or little money or no money, right? So we want to shift that mindset there, and that's that blessing. So we're instead of suffering losses with the mice, we're experiencing growth here with this as well. And so you could certainly be in that situation where you're like, I am not going to play this lack game anymore. I'm going to believe in myself. I'm going to take a position of strength. I'm going to protect my assets wherever I need to, because, you know, some of the economy is a little bit iffy these days, right? So protect whatever money you need to protect, and make sure that you're only have the element of risk that you're comfortable with, right? We do need to take a little bit of risk sometimes for growth. But, you know, I'll also maybe need that little nest egg just to be a little bit protected. And the bear does bring protection as well. So protect your money, protect your assets, even if you don't think that you have a lot, right? And the mice here, right, can represent like you don't have a lot. And, you know, you want a lot, but you don't have a lot necessarily. So even if you don't necessarily have tons of money, right, just take your steps to protect it, put it somewhere where it can grow, even if it's just a little bit here and there. But at least your initial investment is, you know, safe and secure if that's what you are looking for, if that's what you're comfortable with. All right. But I do feel here there is some powerful healing energy, right? Because the mice can bring, if we think of mice in your house, right? They steal from your cupboard. They have, disease, right? And so things aren't healthy when we have the mice here, but the bear can eradicate all of that. So again, we're kind of shifting our energy into a more positive way. And of course, as we do continue through October into November, we are heading into your season here, Saggy, very quickly. So you might be really in just this contemplative energy. What can I do now to better my tomorrow? And those answers or opportunities may present themselves to you. So we're turning things around. The challenge headed your way. We've got the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords as your energy, are you decisive or indecisive? Are you clear or are you confused? Are you confident or are you feeling disempowered? The Queen of Swords says here that you may need to take a confident, clear look at your money, at your career path, at your investments, at your spending habits, not just yours, but of course a significant other or someone else that you share your money and resources with, if that's applicable to you. We need to ask questions. We need to get to the heart of the matter. We may need to put up some boundaries as well, right? Sometimes we have to put up boundaries within ourselves, especially our beliefs around money. Do you believe that you are abundantly powerful to bring in more money? Or do you not feel that way, right? Is it a little bit of lack energy, as we see here? We're turning things around, right? Do you have some spending habits that, maybe you need to get under control just a little bit, right? Not to block any of your circulatory financial energy, right? But just a little bit, just to make a little bit more wise decisions. So that Queen of Swords, those are the things that we're working through, right? When we've got that, you might even need to have a really important conversation with somebody there, and that can be challenging, and hence why we've got the Nine of Swords there, right? You might need to talk about something with somebody, but there's an element of worry and doubt and fear, and oh my goodness, this is going to go completely sideways. The Queen of Swords says, hey, snap to it, okay? You will never have the answers unless you have the conversation. You will never find the opportunity unless you go looking for it, right? Yes, sometimes things can fall in our laps, right place at the right time, but we can also make an effort to put ourselves in the right place at the right time, all right? So some of you are just feeling a little bit, maybe the case of the blues, a little bit, perhaps it's been a long, hot summer and you're just a little bit tired. Perhaps there's been a lot of things going on and, you're just like, okay, I just don't have this energy. I'm not feeling confident right now. So we can quickly turn those things around when we kind of stiffen our backbone a little bit and, really just get logical, right? Logic and intellect and reason, right, will overrule our emotions with this Queen of Swords. Having said that, there could be a person that is creating a little bit of a challenge for you, and so you might need to navigate this person a little bit. Perhaps this is a decision maker, and you need to have that conversation, or perhaps they're a little bit intimidating. The Queen of Swords can be very intimidating because they're just sharp-tongued, right? They're very, very wise, very smart, right? But very quick on the ball with conversational things. So this can be someone that you need to talk to, and again, they can be a little bit daunting. So it's just a little challenge that we need to work through. But ultimately, that Queen of Swords is in the upright, so she can be a powerful ally. Okay, you might just need to get this person on your side, or maybe deal with this person a little bit differently. Again, just face your fears. Also, we've got the Rider and the House, okay? So some of you here are looking to move departments, okay? The House can represent your actual house and home. Okay? It can also represent a small business. It can represent a department that you work in. And the Rider here, can certainly bring us some news, can bring us some messages, communication. We can be putting ourselves out there, right? We can be drafting up our resumes and putting emails out into the great wild beyond, right, to get some jobs or find some opportunities. Because perhaps here, some of you with the House, because the House can represent something a little bit smaller. Perhaps you're trying to break out of a small business. You might be trying to expand your home-based business or even get one off the ground. You might have set your horizons on, a more prosperous or a career path with maybe that Queen of Swords. You're looking for a leadership role. You're looking to be, in charge of a project, or maybe a managerial role, right? You're looking to, maybe manage other people, not necessarily because you want to manage other people, because that might be where the money lies, right? Or that might be your career path. So with this House showing up here, part of your goals and dreams, the Rider can represent news, messages, communication, incoming and outgoing, but it can also represent your personal goals. It's the Nine of Hearts here, and in French cartomancy, the Nine of Hearts is your wishes and hopefully being fulfilled. So what fulfills your wishes? What are you wishing for? It's time to take action, take steps to achieve those, no matter how big, no matter how small, to get ourselves back to a place where we're feeling good and safe and secure and abundant and all these wonderful things. We certainly can set ourselves up for that better future. If you are looking to perhaps move where you live, you could have some challenges there. is a challenge energy. It's still a positive energy, but it's still a challenge. You might need to, you might have some tough negotiations that go on, right? That Queen of Swords can be a little bit of a negotiator and can be a really hard negotiator there as well. So either you are drawing the line, holding your stance about your price that you're selling your home for, or your budget if you're looking to move somewhere. But you could also have, a potential buyer or a potential landlord or something there that is also standing their ground. So a little bit of diplomatic negotiation may be required. And of course, Venus into Libra. Libran energy is about peace and diplomacy and balance, fairness, equality, and justice, right? So there could be a turning point for you in the latter part of the month, okay? But we do certainly have a little bit of magic in here, all right? But we have to, kind of face our fears or work through a little bit of a challenge or a delay. Your advice from Spirit. We've got the Queen of Cups. A little bit of peace, kindness, and diplomacy may be the order of the day for you. And this is how we can navigate people, situations, and things that are standing in our way. The Queen of Cups brings healing. So if there's something wrong with your money, something challenging between you and a spouse, or something in your home, something in your workplace, right, there is this healing element that is coming in here with that Queen of Cups. Now, you might be the one that needs to take charge, right? You might need to be the one that is like the bigger person or the better person, right? Or you might just need to, get a little creative, okay? The Queen of Cups does also represent your intuition. So you're really trusting your intuition, just like we had the trust card there. Trusting your intuition for especially your timing of things. Timing can make or break a deal. Timing can make or break a situation, right? If you really need to talk to someone about something, when they come home from a really bad day at work and they're in a really foul mood, that's probably not the right time, right? Your boss is having a really bad day and their hair's standing on end and they look like, they're just, pulling their hair out. That's probably not the best time to ask for a raise. So that Queen of Cups there, is really reminding you to trust your intuition, okay, before you make a decision or before you make a move. It does bring an element of beauty, interestingly enough, so take care of yourself as well, okay? You don't need to spend a lot of money on yourself. You can maybe spend a little bit, okay? But do something nice for yourself so that you can feel good. Sometimes, we take care of other people and we get busy and we get worn down and run down, and sometimes just that little nice thing that we do for ourselves can turn our energy around for the better. And everything is energy. Money is energy. Everything is energy. And it can give us a little bit more of a positive outlook on things. But there could be a very helpful person with that Queen of Cups. So you probably know who that is already. And this person might be able to help you create something. They might be someone who is already successful in whatever they do. And they could give you a little bit of advice. Because some of you here with the Rider in the house, you might be looking to open up your own business. You might be looking to find a job where you can have more flexibility, work from home sometimes, work from the office sometimes. But you could be looking, to make some more money with something that you do from your home. Also here we've got the dog and the clover. So the dog can represent a friend. Okay, so there could be a friend, a companion, an acquaintance that can help you out a little bit. They could even have an opportunity for you. We do have the clover, which brings you some luck. So, really commit to yourself, your goals and your dreams. The dog there can represent commitment and loyalty, okay, and also some happiness and joy. We always love dogs, right? But the clover is your luck, okay, and so remember, your sign does have a lot of lucky energy behind it, okay? And luck manifests itself in a number of different ways. Anything from, just listening to your intuition and putting yourself out there. It's like, okay, well, there's this job opportunity. This isn't something that I'm not 100% sure that I qualify for, this entire list of things that they're looking for in a candidate, but I'm going to try it anyway, right? Just throw it out there, see what sticks, and you just could have that lucky break. You just never know, right? You could find yourself at the right place at the right time, talking to the right people. So get out and mingle a little bit there as well. But you do have luck on your side there as well. There could also be a friend around you that can help you with an opportunity, or they might have an opportunity for you here also. All right, so be honest and be truthful. Okay, that dog, number one, loyalty, companionship, right? But also that commitment and the trust factor, right? The trust factor, and really kind of being honest with that. So we can have some wonderful, wonderful things opening up for you and going on there for you. Okay, but I do think that there is like this just turning point that's coming in here for you, and it's probably something you've been waiting for a while, right? And that house here can represent stability and security as well. So if you're not feeling like, like you've got a good solid foundation, this is where you might have some doors opening for you. Let's get your final message. And we have Chalice, fertility. Interesting, since we do have the Queen of Cups coming in there. This is card number 3, so it does relate back to the Empress card, right, which is new beginnings, creativity, the things that we find beautiful, our resources, abundance, all of these wonderful things. But it's also fertility. It's a time to create, it's a time to grow, it's a time of blossoming, it's a time to prosper, and Venus is making a move, right? So Venus, we do look to the planet Venus for, all of this wonderful growth opportunities for us. This is a very fertile time for you to, attract what you want, but to find those things that you need to help you along your journey. I'll leave that there for you guys. I do hope there was something here for you, and I thank you for watching. Have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next time. Bye.